West, broadcasting live from 12 studios. This is News 12 at 5 p.m.
The News 12 at 5, I'm Jen Phillips.
And I'm Dan Thomas. We've got breaking news right now coming out of Marshall County. State and local investigators are at a house on Page and Harris Roads.
News 12's Joe Valdez is there live. Joe, can you tell us what's happening?
Dan, Jen, I'm live at the house where for the last several hours, investigators have been going in and out of this home. Joining me now is Marshall County Sheriff Danny Cryer. Sheriff Cryer, what happened here?
Early this morning, we received a 911 call where a person had told us that a friend of hers had confessed to shooting his wife and kids in this Marshall County home. Deputies responded to this area. Once we made entry in the house, we did find 3 gunshot victims. All 3 were deceased. We then contacted the OSBI and had them come assist us with this investigation. We quickly found out who got a suspect or a person of interest, started tracking him, and with the assistance of the Texas Rangers, as little as 20 minutes ago, he was taken into custody and is now going to be extradited back to Oklahoma for this crime.
What city in Texas is he in?
He's in Abilene, Texas, right now.
Okay. And is there an immediate danger for the public?
No, there's no danger at all to the public. That's why we've been working so diligently to make sure we have this suspect in custody. We wanted to make sure that the public here in Marshall County was safe. And now that we've received information that he has been taken into custody, we feel confident in saying there is no public risk.
Great. Sheriff, thank you. Live in Marshall County, Joe Valdez, News 12.
All right, yeah, we'll be following that story at 6. Thank you, Joe. Well, the Texoma School District was placed on lockdown today because of a nearby burglary. Police were called to a home this afternoon just north of Bing Schools. Police say a homeowner was able to shoot the suspect with a pellet gun before he ran away. After a few hours, police canceled the search for the suspect and have issued a warrant for his arrest. The school has since been cleared and students were sent home.
Well, Paris police are investigating a possible bank robbery this afternoon. Police say it happened around 2:40 on the 300 block of Lamar Avenue. They say an alarm at the bank was activated, and when police arrived on scene, they noticed a man running between houses in the area behind the bank, and they chased after him. They eventually caught up and captured him in the backyard of a home on East Price Street. Police say that investigation is ongoing.
All right, time to check on weather. Here's some thunderstorms on Doppler 12 today.
Chief Meteorologist Steve Lenore shows us where they are and where they're headed. Steve.
We've got some strong ones out to the west over Stevens County right here, Doppler 12 live in storm scan mode. So we're talking from just west of Alma down to the east of Duncan. Right in here, some very heavy rain, maybe over 1 inch per hour, and a ton of lightning with these storms. Take a look here on our interpretive mode. You see all these lightning bolts. Those are in the last 10 minutes. Over 150 strikes in this cell. Now, we'll track across northwestern Carter County. In the Garvin County, there's what we call a significant weather advisory on this storm for possibility of 50-mile-per-hour winds, some small hail. Not severe right now, but we do expect to see these storms maybe work a little bit farther east. So Ardmore, Ada, you could get a storm this evening. Now, much of Texoma not seeing any rain right now and may not see much this evening. Your futurecast overnight shows, again, primarily northwestern quadrant of Texoma affected. But look what happens toward the morning as that cold front comes in. We really start to see those storms increase and some heavy rain in the offing. More on that when I come back.
All right, thanks, Steve. Well, juries handed down guilty verdicts in 2 big Grayson County cases today and a sentence in 1.
News 12's Braley McCoy is live at the Justice Center with the latest. Braley.
Well, Dan and Jen, the first case involves a 26-year-old Sherman man who seriously injured his 3-month-old baby girl last January. Jurors convicted Damon Finley earlier today of aggravated assault and just moments ago sentenced him to 3 decades behind bars. The baby survived but suffered serious injuries, including head trauma, broken ribs, and seizures. Prosecutors say they were caused by abuse at the hands of Finley. He must serve 15 years before he's eligible for parole. We spoke to prosecutors Carrie Ashmore and Nathan Young moments ago, and here's what they had to say.
Well, our office, these are very difficult cases from the standpoint of timing the injuries. A lot of times determining that they were inflicted head trauma as opposed to accidental. And our office will vigorously pursue these cases to see that people who injure children are held accountable.
And right now, another Grayson County jury is deliberating what the punishment will be for Trip Bird. The 21-year-old was involved in a road rage accident that killed a Denison woman. Bird was found guilty on counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and accident involving personal injury for the crash that happened 3 years ago. He and 22-year-old Joshua Halliburton are accused of forcing Jennifer Russell's boyfriend into a head-on collision after he spit on one of their cars for cutting them off. Russell lost her leg and eventually died from complications from the wreck. Both also face charges of murder and manslaughter, which neither has yet stood trial for. Bird faces up to 20 years in prison. We'll keep you posted on what the jury decides here, but for now, live at the Grayson County Justice Center, Braley McCoy, News 12.
All right, thanks, Braley. Well, a federal judge has placed a man currently serving life in an Oklahoma prison to a potential path to freedom. Carl Fontenot is serving life for the murder of Denise Haraway in 1984. In 1984, it was the topic of the John Grisham novel, The Innocent Man. U.S. District Judge James Payne ruled there was reason to doubt Fontenot's conviction. Payne has given the state of Oklahoma 120 days to grant him a new trial for release from prison. Tonight at 6, we'll hear from a person who has advocated for Fontenot's release about this new ruling. Well, after mass shootings in El Paso, Texas, and Dayton, Ohio, authorities across the country have arrested more than 24 people accused of making violent threats.
The recent developments intensifying the gun control debate. Nadia Romero joins us from Washington.
While 2 cities remain in mourning, the FBI is working to stop copycat attacks across the U.S. A hotel cook in Long Beach joins a list of more than 24 people arrested over threats to commit mass shootings.
Suspect had clear plans, intent, and the means to carry out an act of violence that may have resulted in a mass casualty incident.
Democratic candidates hitting a familiar theme on the campaign trail Thursday.
When we finally do pass universal background checks and they're signed into law, when we have red flag laws, when we stop selling weapons of war.
The change doesn't come from Washington. It has to come to Washington from people who are demanding it.
Even in red state Texas, Governor Greg Abbott creating the Texas Safety Commission to discuss root causes of domestic terrorism, among other goals.
In Texas, we believe in one thing. Make it 2 things: action and results.
Walmart announcing a permanent memorial at the shooting scene in El Paso. Last week, the CEO saying he supports common sense gun control policies, but stopping short of pulling guns off the shelves. In Washington, I'm Nadia Romero.
Well, weeks after a mass shooting in El Paso, a Sherman restaurant is doing its part to help the community. What they're doing and how you can join in.